Hey folks, it's Jeremy Osterberger with BIC Magazine. I'm joined today by David Cresson, the newly named president and CEO of the Louisiana Chemical Association and the Louisiana Chemical Industry Alliance. For folks that aren't familiar, the LCA and LCIA are pivotal forces in Louisiana's industrial landscape. The LCA represents 70 chemical manufacturing companies with more than 100 sites across the boot, while the LCIA supports over 600 member companies providing essential products and services to Louisiana's chemical and manufacturing sectors. David, congrats on the new role and thanks for joining BIC Magazine.
Well, Jeremy, it's a pleasure to be with you. I've been a fan of BIC Magazine for a long time. We appreciate all that you have done in partnership with LCA and LCIA over the years and really throughout Louisiana. So thank you for having me. I look forward to talking to you and your membership.
Well, thank you so much, David. So let's dive right in. Look, so David, as you step into this role, I want to talk about your primary goals for the organization over the next, 12 to 24 months.
Well, really, we could be here for a long time talking about that. But I think, when you step into a new role, especially in the footsteps of legends like Dan Bornay and Greg Bowser, you step into an organization that's already it has a great history. It's really done excellent work over 65 years that this organization's been around, and so really at some level you're just trying to continue what's been done well for a long, long time. But at the same time, you look for opportunities. You're looking for ways to provide more value to our members. As you mentioned, we've got 70 chemical producers from around the state of Louisiana that are our members. We got 600 or so LCIA members. And we've got to find ways to be more and more of value to those members. They make a real investment in LCA and LCIA, and so we've got to provide that value. And so we committed to our members that we would evaluate everything we do. Literally every policy, every procedure, all of our personnel, all of our day-to-day operations. We're going to evaluate everything. I've been really pleased to find an excellent team of people already in place, and so our team is very professional, very proficient, and I've really enjoyed getting to know all of them. But we've got to look at everything. We've got to look at the way we do business. We've got to look at the value that we provide to our members. We've got to look at the programs that we have in place already. I've got to get out. I've got to meet all of these members. I've got to understand what their companies do. We've got an impressive broad array of companies. They make everything that we use on a daily basis. And I've got to learn that. I want to get out and see their facilities. I've done a lot of that in my first 30 or so days. I think I've been to 15 facilities already, met with countless members already. We've got to meet all the policymakers from around the state, from the governor on down, or from the local grassroots on up, depending on how you want to say it. We've done a lot of that already. We've got to engage with these communities where our facilities and our member facilities do their business. And so we've got a broad array of goals, mainly focused on the fact that we've got to provide really great value for our members. We've been doing that for a long time, and we've got to find ways to ramp that up even more as we go into the future.
David, you mentioned some of the programs that, of course, the organization offers. I did want to ask you, what are the areas in the organization that you believe hold the most potential for growth or, improvement, and sort of how do you plan to approach those?
The biggest opportunity for growth we have is growth itself. Over the years, the chemical industry has gone through fluctuations, frankly, and so our membership has has gone through those fluctuations as well. And so right off the bat, we want to see our membership grow. We're at about 70 member companies now in LCA and about 600 at LCIA. I want to see those numbers increase. There are manufacturing companies that are not members of LCA right now, and so we've got to get to them, prove why membership in LCA is important. Of course, we've got to keep the ones we've already got. And then we've got to find LCIA members and prove to them that becoming a member of LCIA carries with it a lot of importance. We've got these incredible programs that we're going to unleash. We've got our health and safety program here at LCA that provides a great service to our members, but we've got to make it even more available to those members. We've got an environmental program, a legal team that really provides unbelievable value to our members. But our government affairs team is at the Capitol every day. They're there right now. In fact, they're in committee. They're working on the bills that will impact our members. But we've got these other programs that are incredibly important and impactful as well. And I think what you're going to see LCA do is just unleash all of our potential on our membership to where they're getting that full value. That's really important to us. Our health and safety, our environmental programs, our communications. I'm going to talk about that more as we make it through this interview. But we want to communicate even more effectively with our members, and you're going to see us do all of that over the coming years and beyond.
Let's do that, David. Talk about that communications piece. I'm familiar with most everything else you spoke about, but talk about that communications piece. What do your members need in that regard?
As a general rule, our default mode is going to be to over communicate with our members. I want our members to have all the information they could possibly ever want from LCA. We've started that already, especially through our government affairs program, to communicate more often and more thoroughly with our members. We're doing weekly and bi-weekly and even communications with our members through email, through social media, through blog sites. And if you are a member of LCA and you're not getting those from us already, you should reach out to me and we'll make sure you're on the list. But every member of LCA should know on a very regular basis what we are doing at the Capitol, because those the bills that are up there right now, and there's like 120 that we're tracking, every one of them is impactful to our business. And so we want our members to know about it. But it really goes beyond that when it comes to communications. One of the biggest issues our members deal with is the misinformation that is out there about this industry. What I've found in the first month or so that I've been here is that our members really care about the communities that they work in. Obviously, they want to run, successful businesses, and they want to make their products as well as they can make them. But they really care about their communities. They really care about sustainability. They really care about safety and protecting the environment and all of these things that you would expect. They're on top of all of those things. Their story is much better than what's out there in the public when it comes to these issues. We at LCA have to tell that story better for them. We need to be the voice of industry as a whole when it comes to facing this misinformation. And frankly, we've got to be bold about it. We cannot sit on the sideline and allow for information, especially bad information, to be spread, whether it's on social media, whether it's in more traditional media formats. LCA is going to be out there. We're going to be bold. We're going to stand tall to defend this industry when it's necessary and to tell the good story of industry, which is much more prevalent whenever we can.
No, David, no question. It's important now too. We talk about workforce development challenges and trying to get younger people involved in our industry and having an understanding of what this industry produces safely every day. And yes, there's incidents, but the output is incredible when you look at the value, of what the chemical industry brings, really nationally, but especially here in the Gulf Coast and especially down in South Louisiana.
Well, you think about your day-to-day life just on this screen that we're looking at each other on. None of this would be possible without our members, without LCA members. Everything we use on a daily basis, from the minute we wake up to the minute we go to bed, has its roots and origins in our industry. You name an item you use on a daily basis, and chances are it started in a chemical plant somewhere. And chances are even better that it might have started in a Louisiana facility, because our industry is so robust here in Louisiana. You don't hear that story. You don't hear about all that our facilities do to ensure good local public health, to ensure good environmental conditions in their facilities, to make sure that they're producing the cleanest products in the world. They're providing all these jobs. They're providing important tax revenues. 35,000 direct jobs right here in Louisiana. A couple 100,000 indirect jobs, billions in tax revenues that go to the state and to local governments. In many cases, our facilities are the biggest taxpayers in their parishes, but those aren't the stories that are told. The stories that are told by these groups who are frankly paid to tell the bad stories, whether it's highlighting health outcomes or any other of an array of negative stories. Most of them are false. Those organizations are not held to an accountability when it comes to telling the truth. Their only job is to make industry look bad. And so LCA needs to be the shield. We need to be the defender in the night when it comes to making sure that the real story of industry is being told.
Thanks, David. I appreciate those comments. So David, what areas of interest or focus are you particularly passionate about? And I want to get into you more personally, but for right now, I'm talking about the organization LCA and LCIA. What are you passionate about driving forward?
We need to be available to our members. We need to be everywhere all the time, as often as we can be for our members. Our members need to know that they can reach us whenever they want to, but we really need to yell from the mountaintops that our members are the leaders in their communities. They are the ones that are making sure their communities are successful and thriving. They provide the jobs. They provide these incredible products. Obviously, they're providing the tax base and the salaries that so many people live on and make their lives and raise their families on. And so I think if anything has really got my juices flowing, it's this notion that we're going to be the bold voice for this industry and everyone who depends on it, that when it comes from LCA or LCIA, it's something you can trust. It's something that is the truth. It's being said not only with the best interest of our membership in mind, but the best interest of Louisiana and so many people around the state that depend on this industry in mind. So we're gonna tell it. We're gonna tell it loud and proud, and we're not gonna be shy about it.
I love it, David. Thanks again for those comments. So David, let's look ahead a little bit. I mean, how would you define success, for LCA and LCIA under your leadership?
In a year, I want to look and see that our membership is solid and starting to sort of regrow itself. I want to make sure that not just our LCA membership, but also our LCIA membership. I want to make sure that our team that is here is fully staffed and in place, that there's nothing missing there. I want to look back in a year and know that I've had meetings with every important policymaker that I need to, both on the local level all the way up to the governor's office. We've done a good bit of that. What it really comes down to is what our members think is successful. So I'm going to look them all in the eye. I'm going to ask them, how can LCA do better? And after a year, I'm going to meet with them again. I'm going to ask them, are we doing what we promised we would be doing? In 5 years, we need to be able to look back and say, look at the growth. Look at the stability that we've created. Look at the new messaging that we've created for this industry. And if we do that, when we do that, I think we can look back and realize that we've had a successful run. But I'm one of those guys that hates to lose a lot more than I like to win. And so we are going to get these things done for this industry. It's so important. It means so much to the state of Louisiana. Success will be dictated by our team and by our board, but I know that we're going to get there. I'm excited about the fact that I know we're going to reach all of those goals.
David, I had a great time hanging out with you. You're welcome back anytime at BIC Magazine, and really appreciate your insights.
Jeremy, it's great to be with you. Look forward to maybe coming back with you. Look, have me back in a year, and we'll see how we're doing after these first 12 months. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of good stories to tell. But thank you for allowing me to be a part of this today, and thank you for all that BIC Alliance does.
Thank you, sir. So our audience is always eager to learn more about your leadership, about the future of industry, and we look forward to following your journey at LCA and LCIA. For more information on the Louisiana Chemical Association and the Louisiana Chemical Industry Alliance, visit lca.org. And as always, Thank you so much for watching. For more videos, news, podcasts, and information, visit bicmagazine.com. Remember, everybody, it's what we do together that counts.